So good evening, everyone, and thanks to all of you who are in the process of joining us or have just joined us. My name is Stefan Boyta, and I'm the Director of Annex Marketing. And with me, I've got Andrew Patterson, who is our Head of Strategy. We very seldom that we actually end up at a webinar together. We generally either facilitate them, so it's just good to be able to chat. We are really excited leading up to the launch of Annex Bedfordview Frontier on Thursday at 1 p.m. Excited for lots of different reasons. One has been the huge level of demand that we've seen in this pre-launch campaign. The campaign's been running for about close to 4 weeks, and Andrew will chat through the level of demand that's been experienced, which is really, really positive for the market as a whole. It's also really exciting that we are launching via what we call the Property Marketplace, which provides a really, really seamless interaction and opportunity for you to secure your unit up front. And we're going to be unpacking that, but also just unpacking what makes a product unique, for you to really understand the background, levies, rates, and any questions you have around the product offering. We really wanted to make this a very unique engagement where you can ask any question you possibly want to allow you or to equip you with the best possible information to be able to make the most educated property decision come Thursday at 1 p.m. So we are the marketing partners for Annex Bedfordview, fortunate to be representing Stoneman, who have got a significant track record when it comes to development. And we just really wanted to make this casual, informative, and we'll just be chatting through the product. But I really, really encourage you to post any questions you have in the chat below, and we'll be able to answer any of those as we go. We'll also be able to share links, information, and anything else that you may need prior to Thursday. The exciting thing is we only have 42 units in phase one. I know we've had in excess of 700, and we'll be able to chat through sign-ups to our marketplace, which means that we are, 100% confident that we're going to sell out on launch day. But those of you on this call will probably obviously have first track, and yeah, we really, really want to equip everyone with the ability to be able to purchase come 1 o'clock on Thursday. Andrew, I think let's kick off in terms of good to see you.
Yeah, it's nice to be part of a webinar where we both have the chance to chat to one another rather than facilitate. But I'm so excited to be here. I think there's it's an amazing opportunity upcoming, and really looking forward to having a chat with you just to talk around what the product offering is, the state of property in South Africa at the moment, and specifically in Bedfordview, but also just to give our attendees and our signups to our marketplace some key insights before our launch taking place on Thursday at 1 o'clock. So yeah, looking forward to the next 30 or 40 minutes.
And yeah, I think just to add to those of you who are on the call, so Andrew's sitting in a 3-bedroom unit, which is obviously a render of what is going to be completed pretty much by the end of the year, which is a huge thing. I'm sitting in front of the pool, which is complete, and the creche, which is complete. So it's quite unique to be taking a product to market that has so many facilities that are already completed in terms of fully functional gym, pool, creche, gatehouse, which is fully operational, and then also to be in the midst of construction with the first units being completed in the year. So it just makes it very, very interesting, and just shows a huge amount of confidence on behalf of the developer. But yeah, it's exciting because the developers that succeed in this market can read the market, understand what the market's looking for, and really create razor-sharp product offerings, which is one of the reasons why we're so excited about this. So Andy, I mean, just what's underpinning the demand, and how's it looking leading up to Thursday?
So, Steph, again, I just want to say it's this where you're sitting in front with completed lifestyle facilities, completed perimeter fencing, guardhouse, gatehouse, all up and running, biometric security systems in play, just testament to the credibility of the developer, I think, first and foremost, in terms of what their ability is to drive this type of new development within an area like Bedfordview. I think we are in construction at the moment now on the first 10 blocks. We are obviously only releasing the first phase, which is the first 3 blocks on Thursday, the 26th at 1 p.m. But, again, the developer has trusted us to do the initial market research through an entity that is pioneering in that space within the South African property market and the global property market. And we've worked around sort of where the demand is currently. And I think we saw there was a gap in the price point market, or there's a gap in the market from a price point perspective, sitting between that 1.2 and sort of 2.5 million rand for new opportunities of sectional title within a gated or a secure estate, which is exactly where we've priced these particular apartments, 2-bed, 2-bath and 3-bed, 2-bath apartments at Annex Bedfordview. And then obviously the need for new stock compared to what's primarily been quite a complex driven market in the area, providing new opportunity for especially investors to with regards to the rental demand for gated communities within the Bedfordview area. And I guess the proximity, let's not forget about the location of Annex. We directly across from Redham Bedfordview, one of the leading private schools within the country. You literally less than 5 minutes from Eastgate Mall, less than 2 minutes down the road from Bedford Centre. You've got access to major arterial routes within Gauteng. You pretty much 10 minutes from the airport, from OR Tambo International Airport. So from an end user perspective, guys wanting to buy to live at Annex, having the facilities built, the opportunities under construction and looking to be ready, we're hoping at the end of the year. I mean, it becomes quite lucrative in terms of your opportunity to have a move-in ready apartment. And from an investor perspective, having all these facilities, the location, the demand for rental stock within Bedfordview, and the demand for those sort of secure environments, especially for those young families or families looking to sort of grow into a bigger space. Annex has got all of those ticking the boxes.
And yeah, I mean, I think just to add something, I know there's a question that's just come through, and again, those of you listening, please post questions. We can answer them during this time. We're going to try and have this chat for 30 to 40 minutes max, but hopefully try and get through as many questions as we can. The question is who's the developer, and I know I mentioned the intro Stoneman projects, but I think where developers are so relevant, we always say like one of the first things you got to look at is obviously location is quite key, but generally the developer is the first thing you look at, especially in market conditions where it may be perceived to be tougher with interest rates and so forth. That the biggest advantage of developers who've been around for a long time as Stoneman have been around for about 25 years. The market delivered over 1,000 different units across different projects and pride themselves in the passion of getting stuck in. And I think one of the things we've seen dealing with them is just how involved they are in all facets, from the value engineering through to the construction, through to the detail around the finishes and so forth. But generally, those developers will understand the market really, really well. Like we said, in this instance, commissioning us from a market research perspective right at the beginning, but also just having a very good understanding, but knowing that you've got to leave something in there for the end user. And that is for me the huge thing, is that I think in this current market is that the odds are heavily stacked in the favor of the purchaser when the right developers involved, because they will understand that they are different units they're going to roll out over the course of a period, and really providing significant advantage to those who are getting in early. And I think over a scheme like this, where there are different phases, to be able to get in the first 42 is quite a significant thing. And I think that's where at pre-launch prices, yeah. So I think that question about who the developer is very significant, because it has a huge bearing on the delivery, the quality, and I think the pride that goes into the product, and leaving something on the table for us as a consumer. So and I mean, just in terms of rental guarantees, I mean, I know it's been something that's been introduced, which is quite novel, I guess, for a launch. Can you maybe just unpack that?
Yeah, novel for a launch, but I think from an investor perspective, it's an investor's dream. So, when we launched Annex Bedfordview, there's 42 opportunities, and the developer has decided to guarantee the rental income across all units within phase one, for a period of 12 months from taking transfer. What that basically means is that the developer will subsidize your rental income at 12,000 Rand for your 2-bed, 2 baths at net, which means that they will pay your levies and your rates and pay the balance out to you on a monthly basis into your account. And on the 3-bed, 2 baths, it's going to be 17,000 Rand, which is, I think both of those are about, 1,000 to 2,000 Rand above what the current market is expecting from a rental income. So it's just showing the confidence and from the developer's perspective to know where the demand is, but also providing the utmost value for the end user or for the investor. It becomes, dare I say, almost like a bit of a risk-free opportunity, especially for those first 12 months. It does alleviate a little bit of the financial pressures coming when you do invest in property, especially for those first-time property investors. But for those seasoned investors, adding Annex into your property portfolio with a 12-month rental guarantee, just to give you that peace of mind up front, is an amazing opportunity. And especially with, like we've spoken about earlier, around the demand, the completed lifestyle facilities, the construction timelines, the location, the proximity to arterial routes, exactly. It's an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, and I think just to sort of unpack the rental guarantee you spoke about. So typical 2-bed, 2-bath units at Annex, starting from about 1.2 million, which is quite significant in itself in terms of price point. So in terms of a typical calculation, so over a 30-year bond term, which is very possible in this market, you're looking at bond repayments of about 12,000 Rand a month. And then the levies are standard across all the units. So that's 1,200 Rand a month. And again, I think the levies, for those of you who don't know, cover the maintenance of your common areas, cover security, a whole host of other different benefits, all the facilities that you get. That's 1,200, and your rates pretty low, which are municipal rates you pay, which is standard across any development, 600 Rand. So you're looking at about 13,800 in terms of monthly costs, but with a guaranteed rental income of 12,000. So you've got a shortfall to own a property which is appreciating in a very significant area. You've got a shortfall of about 1,800 Rand a month to be able to own a property. And then bearing in mind, yes, the guaranteed rental falls away after 12 months, but your rental escalations will generally happen between 6 and 8%. And I think the biggest thing about a high demand area where you're across the road from a school, the rental demand is always going to be significant, and you're probably going to see those rental prices escalating quite nicely and holding significant value. And I think, as we know, your bond repayment stays pretty steady, especially if interest rates start coming down, but your rental income, so you get to a point after 4 or 5 years where you've got a cash flow positive asset, which is appreciating. I think that is the huge thing that a lot of people don't necessarily understand, are the benefits of buying property with good rental income. And I think one of the things we've seen from the word go here is the fact that the product has been priced for the investor, but built for the end user in terms of size. And I think if you look at the typical size of a 2-bed, around 90 square meters, which is nice and ample, and about 140, 142, I think, for a 3-bed. And I mean, the example where Andrew's sitting now is a 3-bed ground floor unit. I think there are only 6 of them in the first phase, but significant in the sense that we find a really, really good balance between livability and price point, I guess.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, there's obviously only 6 3-bed ground floor opportunities available in that first phase of 42. So, there is a high demand from that, especially on an end user perspective, which leaves us with 36 2-bed, 2 baths across the 3 stories in the rest of the 3 blocks. And I think if we're talking about, where best from an investor to look, you know, the beauty about Annex at the moment now is that there are, you know, differentiators which make each unit unique in their own way. But personal preference does come into play. It's height, it's how many floors you want to stairs you want to walk up, proximity to the gatehouse, proximity to your swimming pool and clubhouse facilities and gym. So, you know, with that guarantee in place, like I said earlier, I think, and, you know, it's that peace of mind. And we know, you know, when you invest in property, you get built up in the hype and the opportunity that comes into your world. But, you know, then it comes to securing tenants and you know, and having to procure, you know, putting it out there and getting those guys to eventually come and rent. And with this, because of the construction timelines and, you know, because of the rental guarantee, again, it alleviates a lot of that stress, especially if you're a first-time property investor. And I'm pretty sure that those guys who are, you know, seasoned investors with a large portfolio will again feel comfort knowing that, you know, this investment is, you know, for at least the 12 months where I'm going to get that guaranteed rental income. It's going to set me up for a really good season, especially within those first 5 or 7 years. And depending on whether you have an exit strategy or not, I think it does bode well for how that escalation can grow over and above the capital appreciation, which in a development like this, with the facilities within the location is, you know, we know, I think we were talking about the stats a little bit earlier in the week where it was, I think it was about 40% greater in terms of your appreciation within a secure gated community or a gated estate compared to, you know, a standalone sectional title apartment. So from an Annex perspective, that in itself is also something to be mindful of when you're looking for an investment opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, if you look at the price escalation for the Greater Bedfordview area, is seeing 6% year-on-year capital appreciation, which is significantly better than keeping your money in the bank. But if you look exactly like you said, because of the scarcity of secure estates in the area, those newer secure estates are achieving a price premium of 37% over older stock, which is exactly where we're at in terms of the way forward, which is really, really exciting. And I think just to answer a couple of questions, one from Nasiki Kwamba says, so after a lease ends, will Annex assist in having a tenant in the unit? Yes, absolutely. I think that's the big thing about investing with a developer who's got a turnkey solution to everything, including sales and letting. And I think that it's in everyone's best interest to achieve those waiting lists, to keep pushing it, to maintain value for tenants. And I think a lot of developers who've been around for a while understand that process is so vitally important, because if it's left to the mercy, generally people will try to undercut them in price. So there'll be a very, very specific strategy about that. And yes, that will be in place. And then from anonymous attendee, we all friends as we walk at the function ad. But well, what is the average rental income on a 2-bed, 2-bath? And I think what we're saying in terms of the guaranteed rental income for the first year is 12,000. We're saying that if you had to go into the open market right now, you'd probably get about 11 based on the product and the demand and so forth. There's about a 1,000 Rand premium to the guaranteed rental. But the benefit of the location and the product and the area is that we're very confident about the depth of rental demand outside of that guaranteed period. And I think the nice thing about a guaranteed rental is that everything's taken care of for you by the developer. They pay the rates and levy on your behalf, and you get the net income after that's been deducted off your rental income. And then Andrew, a question from Haley Apple. How many units were in phase 1 and how many phases envisaged? So
we've got 42 units, 42 apartments in phase 1. We've got 6 3-bed, 2-bath ground floor units across the 3 blocks, which leaves us with 36 2-bed, 2-baths across the remaining units in the 3 blocks. In total, there's going to be over 600 apartments available, released in multiple phases, depending on this, based on sales success. But I think what Steph mentioned earlier, and yeah, we've had over 750 odd people sign up to our marketplace, only 42 opportunities in phase one. It's a bit of a heavyweight battle here because there's a massive oversubscription for what opportunities we have available. And I think guys are seeing the value in getting it now at launch prices. We know that there are going to be price escalation over the course of future phases. And then obviously with the rental guarantee being allocated within the first phase, it becomes such a massive investment opportunity for guys looking to get into Annex.
Yeah, and Hayley, I think just to elaborate on that, or add to that, is it, like Andrew said, I think we expect to be fully oversubscribed for the first phase, and then naturally, I think we'll explain the marketplace in a second, but naturally there'll probably be, we won't have a long lag between the two, because I think between the next phase, but I think we see with all of these schemes, you want critical mass of people because it keeps the levies down. It's a huge thing, especially when it's managed, especially when the developer's already under construction and they are going guns blazing in terms of rolling out all the different elements, irrespective of the rate of sale. But we all know that rate of sale creates appreciation and creates demand. And naturally, with every phase that happens, the developer will tick up pricing. And again, I can't emphasize enough in terms of the benefit of getting in early, knowing that naturally by come phase 5 or phase 6, the market value will be significantly higher just based on the fundamentals of demand and supply. And then, yeah.
So I'm going to see some questions there. So construction timeline in phase 1. As we mentioned, the first 10 blocks are already underway. I think if you are or have the ability to get to site prior to Thursday's launch at 1 p.m., you will see that the roofs are about to go on, especially on the first couple of blocks. So our expected completion for that is we're hoping at the end of this year. I mean, it's obviously weather dependent, but we're pretty confident on that front. And then Hannah, your question around transfer. If I had a magic wand to tell you how efficient the deeds office can be with regards to when transfers can take place, I would be able to give you a very honest answer. But I think you're traditionally looking at about 2 to 3 months once occupation is done, if not sooner, depending on the build up in the deeds office and how quickly we can get all the documentation through. And then Chris, while I'm on a roll here, just in terms of expected completion of the next phase. So like we said, we've got 10 blocks currently under construction, first 3 to be released on our first phase. Based on the oversubscription that we've had, over 750 signups to our marketplace to date, we think we'll be relatively quick in our release of future phases. But just a reminder that there will obviously be price escalations as and when new phasing opportunities are released.
And then while you're on that roll, just a couple of questions about, are units available to view before Thursday? And if so, when can you do it?
Yeah, so we will actually have a show unit ready. Unfortunately, not going to be completed and furnished before Thursday 1 p.m., which is when we are launching on our marketplace. However, you do have the ability to go and experience the spatial sort of design and the layout of the apartments, and we do have a dedicated on-site consultant who will be able to show you and talk you through the different opportunities. So we will have, or actually think if it's not already on there, in the chat function, we will put our dedicated WhatsApp line. So if you are interested in the next 24 hours or so to get to site and view the facilities that have been completed, or even take a look at where we are from a construction perspective, please just drop us a line. I'm sure we will have that WhatsApp line in a minute posted on our chat. And then while I'm at it, if you haven't followed us on any of our social pages, get on board. I think we'll put all the links there as well. One of our main sources of information is on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. We are pretty prevalent with our posting. We provide all the details around the different opportunities, the facilities, the location, and obviously key instructions and sort of the general next steps for how you will be able to secure and reserve your apartment come launch day on the 26th of October, which is this Thursday at 1 p.m.
And then, so on the chat, exactly, the guys have posted, for those of you, you can see there's a Q&A and a chat at the bottom, posted the social links. And then in terms of the WhatsApp number, so we've got Siobhan, who many of you probably already have chatted to, so she is manning that number. And if there's any questions you thought about that you don't ask tonight, she'll be able to answer that, but she'll also be able to facilitate the site visit for you. The online purchasing process is the only way of purchasing, so you won't be able to go to the sales office on Thursday at 1 o'clock and purchase. You'll have to do that online, but we're going to unpack that in a second in terms of what the process is, going to the marketplace and answering those questions. But Siobhan will be able to answer any questions, link you up with the sales team, and make sure you're all super equipped come Thursday.
I think we might just have to deal with the elephants in the room. The L word there, load shedding backup. So I know the developer has taken into consideration potential opportunity for generator. I think as and when the needs are determined, we'll be able to get further information on that. So I think the best thing to do is like our social pages. Most of you have probably already signed up or have signed up to our marketplace, so you will be getting constant email communication and updates with regards to the development construction. So, if we haven't answered any of your questions here, I'm sure we'll be able to get through to get through them on those different channels and those different mediums.
100%. And then I know a couple of questions around most popular unit types, which came from Lindy. I think we're going to unpack that now when we go to the marketplace. Anonymous asking about the purchasing process, which we'll unpack. Our Piri in terms of the times to view be prior to launch, and like we said, in terms of chatting to Siobhan. Hayley Apples asks what information also be shared on when a unit is complete for viewing. Sometimes I prefer to see product in person. Hayley, 100%. I think the beauty of this, I think we also always know that when you are purchasing off plan, although this is not too far off plan because it's really under construction, there's an element of unknown, I guess. But the beauty of Annex is you're able to go into an existing development where there are facilities complete. You'll be able to see the construction process. And if you would like to do that between now and Thursday, I would highly recommend it. But I wouldn't recommend waiting beyond Thursday because I think you might miss out on the opportunity. But at least you'll be able to get a lot of comfort in terms of what's happening and what's already been completed, as opposed to traditionally when you are investing off plan and getting the benefits of investing off plan to the capital appreciation, but having to show a lot of trust when it comes to what the developer will deliver, which is a little bit different here.
Yeah, and I mean, just to touch on that, so our consultant Nettie, who is part of the Stoneman team, will be available on site. So if there are any questions, obviously get through to us on our dedicated WhatsApp line, which is in the chat, as we said. But if there are any further questions around viewings, we better make it quick before 1 p.m. on Thursday, because as we've said, over 750 signups, massive oversubscription for only 42 apartments available within the first phase. Steph, I think before we get on to sort of the sales process and just sort of the general user journey for how it works, can we touch on interest rates? Maybe just mention that we have partnered with South Africa's premier home loan provider, ooba, and yeah, I mean, I think from your perspective, and in your honest opinion, I mean, we've been through quite a jump since COVID in terms of where we were from an interest rate to where we currently are. What's your opinion on the next 12 months or so, especially with us going into sort of a season where we have seen stability over the last 2 or so months with the reviews?
Have a shot, you guys. No, I think it's so relevant because interest rates drive positive sentiment in the market. And I think a lot of people get scared of interest rates because everyone's talking about interest rates being high. But the reality is we came off a significant low during the pandemic. And I always say that we've now only really started to see us get back to pre-pandemic levels to an extent. But we also know that interest rates are there to, as a Reserve Bank's way of curbing inflation. And if inflation is high, generally interest rates will be high. But the beauty is that during the course of this year, we saw 3 consecutive months where we had disinflation. In August, we had inflation of 4.8%, which is basically very much within the target guidelines. And we have seen now, we're all confident that we've now seen the last of the interest rate spikes. And if you chat to any of the banks, or you read any bank reports, everyone is calling between 0.5 and between 1% reduction in interest rates between now and the end of next year. So we'll probably see them in like 0.25 or 0.5% increments. Obviously, we don't have a crystal ball, but the beauty is that if you're buying off plan, you've got to take into consideration the fact that between when you buy and between when you actually take a transfer, there might be a further reduction, although we probably won't see another reduction between now and the end of the year, but who knows? But going into next year, when you are starting to servicing your debt, you are going to see your bond repayments get cheaper and cheaper with every quarter that goes by, which is really, really positive. And I think one of the biggest things, and I mentioned it earlier, is when interest rates are high, developers have to be super, super sharp about the product offering they bring to market, because if they don't bring a good product offering, no one will buy it. And the odds, in my opinion, are stacked in the favor of the end user when interest rates are high. And the beauty is now we're launching a unique product priced exceptionally well at the peak of the interest rate cycle, and it can only get better from here. And I think that is, again, the benefit lies in those who are actively seeking investments when others are moaning about interest rates, but they don't necessarily understand where the cycle's going.
Yeah, and I guess I think the beauty about doing a comprehensive market research study up front and working collectively with the professional team from a developer perspective just gives you that little bit of oomph when it comes to defining pricing and structure and mix of opportunities. And, you know, as you said, Stoneman has, you know, developed and delivered you know, over 1,000 odd opportunities across the Gauteng region, and they looked at where the current demand is, and they listened to the user, and they put on a price point of between, you know, that 1.2 and 2.5, where we know there is a gap. And especially with the different opportunities, those 2 beds, very spacious, those 3-bed ground floor units, perfect for starter families, for young families, for any family really, especially with the you know, the access to garden. Yeah, I mean, it's exciting times coming. You know, less than 36 hours to go till 1 p.m. on Thursday.
I see you've got the Proteas in the TV screen behind you. It's pretty exciting what's happening there too.
Yeah, actually, I wonder. I didn't see the final score from today, so I'm hoping we did a similar thing to England as we did on the weekend. So next step, probably the most critical, is let's go through a sort of step-by-step journey of our marketplace, of our property marketplace, and just sort of see if there are any questions relating to the process. I think the caveat here is that we are not live yet with our purchase, so we will not be able to go through the actual reservation, but we can talk through that, talk through our payment partner, and also just give you some tips and tricks, you know, leading up to that 1 p.m. Time on Thursday, in terms of helping you get ready, get set, and getting prepared for securing or reserving your Annex Bedfordview apartment.
And maybe while you pulled it up, can I just answer a question that's come through from Anonymous, and just in terms of asking, just for clarity, does a 12-month rental guarantee from the developer mean the developer is covering rent for the period, and then I only cover the levies? So yeah, pretty much. I think the benefit of a guaranteed rental is only happening for these first 42 units, which is quite significant in itself. The second is that, yes, we are very confident about the rental income, but generally sometimes when a development has just transferred whatever, you might have a lag of a month or 2 before getting your first tenant, which is the reality, and I think everyone allows that. So what this is saying is that from taking transfer, the developer will guarantee that you will be paid rental income for that 12-month period, paying it at a slight premium to what the market is offering, and then you will be responsible for your levies and your rate. So if they are paying you 12,000 Rand on a 2-bed, or I think it's 17 on a 3-bed, naturally your levies and rates will be deducted with that. But it's just basically saying that for the first 12 months, you will have no gaps in your rental income, and it will be at a slightly higher premium than otherwise. And you won't have to deal with any of the hassle of having to worry about getting tenants, securing tenants, or any queries or admin related to it, which is a huge win in this current market.
It's a massive win. You know, it's such a great opportunity for investors, especially in this market, and especially with this type of opportunity where you know that there is a high rental demand for you know, apartments in secure estates within the Bedfordview area. And so it just sets a precedent for future rental income further down the line. So what I've got on our screen here is our Annex Bedfordview website. I think, you know, most of you have probably read this from pillar to post, but I think what I'd like to just scroll down and take you through is just our location, which I think, you know, one of the key unique selling points for Annex Bedfordview is that it is located in a really bustling, high density, active location. And, you know, just the opportunity to and proximity to all these amenities and facilities is an amazing opportunity for any investor or any person who's looking to buy to live. So I'm just going to sort of scroll over here. We've got our, you know, pool and creche and sort of restaurant and gym facility, which has been completed. You can see the grayed out areas are our current under construction. This image was taken from about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So, you know, we pretty much three floors up already across the board, which just shows in terms of the progress and the commitment by the developer to deliver on what has been promised. If we pan out for a little bit, you can see directly across the road here, Redham House, Bedfordview. Steph, I know we chatted about it. Having a school directly opposite your front gate is unique, but also from a parent's perspective, it's quite, you know, it makes life a little bit easier, especially with those drop-offs and pickups for kids.
Yeah, especially when you've got a creche on site. Just to be able to complement those dead hours.
Yeah. And I mean, I know we've spoken about proximity to Bedford Centre. You know, you're pretty much on Smith Street all the way, about 2 minutes down the road. You're about 3 minutes from Life Bedford Gardens Hospital. And, you know, again, Eastgate Mall is about just under 5 minutes away. You are also straight on the route to get onto the R24, which leads you into sort of the major arterial routes and national highways, both north and south. And again, you can't zoom too far into here, but I can honestly tell you that OR Tambo is about 10 minutes away as the crow flies. So that's just a quick overview in terms of location and proximity to the different area amenities. But now if I can just take you through our actual marketplace. So for those who have, and I'm hoping you all have signed up, you would have gone through the sign up process, signing up, putting your email address in, putting your contact number, your mobile, setting your username, setting up a password, potentially filling in additional information in terms of what opportunities you are looking for and where you are based currently. You also have the ability to click on a how it works video, which basically will take you through a step-by-step, exactly what I'm going through at the moment now. I won't go through the individual tabs. I think they're all pretty self-explanatory, but we'll give it a broad overview in terms of your facilities, our investments, in terms of the guaranteed rental income, frequently asked questions, which range from anywhere to, is it pet friendly? Is it not pet friendly? how do I, what stovetop do I have, and so on. So if I just go into the marketplace, and for those who have signed up, you can either just click the peachy orange button down here, or on the top right, which will take you into the marketplace itself. So now you are where the magic happens. You have the ability to, if you haven't followed it already, click on how it works. Well, this will give you a comprehensive overview on each touch point within the marketplace itself, guiding you through each step in terms of how you filter, how you search for a specific apartment by typing in the number, how you reset your search criteria, how you choose your view. There are two different views. There's a grid view and a list view. You will be able to see additional information, and we'll get into that in a bit. Here you'll have your visual availability, which I think is one of the major differentiators with this marketplace. We have the ability to wish list. So I know in a lot of the communications that has been sent since our launch, or since we started communicating about Annex Bedfordview, has been to get those who have signed up to our property marketplace to wish list their favorite apartments. Basically, what this allows you to do is get quick access to that apartment come launch day, not necessarily having to filter through the different opportunities to get to that desired investment or dream home that you are looking for. You then have the ability to access your account and update information, as well as your accessing your wish list. And then we'll go through how you view your apartment and seeing all the details and the information available on there. So, Steph, I think, the best way to do this is just to sort of search for a specific apartment, as if I am someone looking for a 2-bed, 2-bath, north or northeast facing unit in block 15. So straight off the bat, I'm going to choose 2 beds under the search bar over here, filter bar. The beauty is that there is no activation button. It's all automated. So you'll see that once you've clicked through, all the 2 beds are now populated. I'll then go on to my direction tab over here. I'm going to click on northeast. And again, no need to click an action button. It's all automated. The list will then pre-populate with all the 2-bed, 2-bath, northeast facing units. And I'm very keen on block 15. It's my lucky number. So, I'm always trying to stay in the luck zone. So I'm going to click on block 15. So what this does, again, no need for any action button. It automatically populates your grid with all the different 2-bed, 2-bath, northeast facing opportunities within block 15. I am one for getting my steps in, someone who enjoys a bit of a view and sort of that privacy, or a little extended privacy that you may have from being on the top floor. So I am also going to choose 3rd floor. So now I have got my desired opportunity, which is unit 1513. I can see immediately on the front facing here, we can see it's northeast facing. We know what block it's in. We can see the price points. This is price inclusive of that. It's on the 3rd floor. We've got 2-bed, 2-bath, 2 parking bays, which I don't think we have touched on, but just for reference, that each unit does get 2 parking bays within the purchase price at a size of 81.7 square meters. So you have the ability now to view additional information within this apartment. You can see a beautified floor plan, which shows how your potential furniture configuration can work. Those are queen beds in there, just to give you peace of mind. Again, giving you the different levies for the opportunities. Like we've said, there's a blanket levy amount estimated at 1,200 Rand per month, with an estimated rates of about 600 Rand per month. You've got some estimated bond costs, which over a 30-year period equates to just over 12,000 Rand. Total cost for the month at 13,862, and which Steph has pointed out, if you've got a guaranteed rental of 12 grand, your sort of monthly costs of paying in is very limited from the bat at about just over 1.8. You also have the ability to contact us directly. So again, this number comes through to Siobhan, who I'm hoping a lot of you have met or communicated with. Exceptionally knowledgeable. She has a great understanding in terms of what different opportunities are available. She's got all the information about the launch taking place on Thursday, the 26th of October at 1 p.m. If you're more of an email kind of person, you can email us at houseit@annexbedfordview.co.za. And just going on from a mortgage origination perspective, I know we touched on that Annex has partnered with ooba. And the beauty about ooba is they've got a very unique pre-qualification system, which is totally online. It's paperless. It's easy. It's simple to use. It takes less than 5 minutes. And what it does, it gives you an affordability rating and a credit rating. So you have the ability to understand exactly where your price range can sit. And it sort of sets you up nicely for securing your bond once you've reserved your unit and paid your deposit.
I think just to add to that, I mean, I think for people who haven't been through the mortgage origination process before, it is free. And I think the misconception for a lot of people is that they might have their own private banker, or they might bank with specific banks. They don't need a mortgage originator. I think one of the things in any market is that banks are hungry for business. And in many cases, your own bank, with all respect to banks, might be a little bit complacent about your account because they already have your account. So they might view you in a certain way. And when it comes to getting an interest rate, we all know you can negotiate interest rates with all banks. We can be offered. So you might get prime less 0.5 or prime less 1, depending on your credit score. But generally, a mortgage originator will then go and shop around and go to all the different the top banks and a few other opportunities. And in many cases, it's another bank who's more hungry for your business and might actually offer you a much better rate than your current bank. So it really is a very, very useful process to go to. And that's why we highly, highly recommend, because all in the best interest of you getting the best rate, because over 20 or 30 years, a rate of 0.25 below prime or 0.5 can have a significant difference on your repayments every month.
And just from an administrative perspective, Steph, is that, we've got a dedicated home loan consultant here who will be able to negotiate on your behalf. So, ooba goes to all the top banks in South Africa and gets rates from each bank. And that just alleviates all the time that it takes to communicate, to engage, to send documentation to each individual bank. So from a time-saving perspective, I think ooba has got it waxed. And especially when we've got someone dedicated through to the project who has the ability to service you and get your financial needs sorted. I mean, the best way possible is to almost pre-qualify yourself now prior to the launch, so you know where you stand. But again, it also simplifies the process beyond that. So we know that you're going to have to sign your agreement. You're going to have to get your FICA documentation in. But if you've got a pre-qualification or an OBI certificate, an ooba bond certificate already, I think it just helps that process along quite significantly.
Yeah, and I think, sorry, just to add, I think the biggest thing about that is to almost reverse engineer the process, so you actually know what you can afford. And I think that's quite a big thing about getting a pre-qualification done. So we'd highly, highly recommend it, to try and understand your own affordability so that you can select a unit that is best suited to your needs. And then, Andrew, just a quick question. So when you did your search earlier, you were quite specific about what block you wanted. You wanted block 15, but what if someone's not that sure about what block they want and more looking about overall orientation?
Brilliant question. So I think what I'm going to do now is just reset my search over here. And I am going to click on visual availability. So what we have now got is the ability to see the estate in its entirety. This is a site development plan, or an SDP, to those in the know in terms of development lingo. Again, you have the ability to click on how it works, and it will be able to help navigate you in terms of what buttons do what, and what you can click in terms of getting useful information. But for those who are looking, especially on launch day, if you are purely from an investor perspective, you're looking for an opportunity that is available depending on the floor, you can see that the 3 blocks that are being launched, only 42 apartments, are highlighted in green over here. You have the ability to search per floor. Right now, we have all green because we are only launching on Thursday at 1 p.m. But once we launch, due to our massive demand since we released the offering of Annex Bedfordview, we know that there's an oversubscription currently with over 750 signups and only 42 apartments. So you're going to probably see, these units marked off as reserved and read relatively, or quite quickly, I should say. So anyone who's trying to understand how and where is the perfect apartment to choose can get a visual representation of this. This also gives you an indication in terms of proximity to your clubhouse facilities, your restaurant, your gym, your pool, the creche, location or proximity to the guardhouse, how quickly it is, where parking is, and then obviously against the future phases and the future blocks that are coming. Just as a highlight mention, the dark grayed out blocks are here in phase 2. These will obviously be released once phase 1 is sold. And again, launch prices play a significant role in those who get in early, knowing the fact that when we release future phases, there will probably be price escalations.
And then, sorry, if I could just add to that, I think for those of you who are purchasing on Thursday, a recommendation would be just spend your time playing around the marketplace, identifying what your budget is, being quite clear in terms of the offering you're looking for, orientation, etc., and to have at least 3 options, if you could, because it naturally, come 1 o'clock, we are going to get people purchasing within the first few seconds, and then to not be stressed out if your unit option goes straight away, to be able to fall back. So to have a list and to be able to say, okay, cool, I wanted unit, whatever, 1501, it's now gone, but my second choice is 1401 or whatever, and be able to go straight into that. And it's vitally important because we do expect certain units to go, and it's impossible to predict what might go before you've clicked. So just have as many options as possible. There are great options, and it doesn't necessarily mean that if you haven't got the option you're looking for as first prize, it isn't a great second or third option. And
that's where the wish list comes into play, Steph. I think, if you wish list, we've talked about 3, having your top 3. You can have 42 if you really want to, but I think if you really are specific about what opportunity is best suited to your needs, I think the best way to do it is to almost commit yourself to choosing your top 3. Number 1, your absolute top priority. Number 2, second best, third best, and so on. You have the ability to add them to your wish list, which you can then access on the top right of our property marketplace. You also have the ability to navigate through to the actual individual unit from the availability schedule, which gives you again that view where you have the chance to check out the size, the schedule of areas, the different opportunities. I think another element here is our downloads. Here we have access to our buyer's guide, which will give you all the details and the unit plan layouts. We have a price list. We've got our brochure, which contains all the relative about us communication or information. And then we do have something here called the agreements of sale, which is a draft version of the actual offer to purchase, which will be sent to you once you reserve your unit. Again, a really good idea is to get this or download this, have a look through. If there are any questions or if there's anything significant that you are wanting to ask us, you can just drop us a line on that WhatsApp chat, which has been posted in our chat a little bit earlier. And then, that's it. So I think, I think we've had a lot of content to talk to. We're almost an hour in. I think the main thing here is that on launch day, what's going to be a significant change to the visual or the view that you are going to see here is that wish listed block here will be reduced and a reserve now button will appear. So our recommendation is that you are online, signed in, and viewing the Annex Property Marketplace at least 15 minutes before. What this means is it just gives you opportunity to get yourself acquainted for which opportunity you want. What's your first option, your second option? If it were me, I'd be opening up the different options in unique tabs. And then as the countdown begins, leading up to 1 p.m. on Thursday, the 26th, I would be refreshing my browser. So whether you use Chrome or you use Safari or any one of the Microsoft browsers, if you click the refresh button leading up to 1 o'clock, as soon as 1 o'clock strikes, you'll see the reserve button. And as soon as you click on that reserve button, that unit will then be taken off the property marketplace for 10 minutes. So you will then have 10 minutes to secure that apartment by paying your 5,000 Rand deposit through our payment partner, iKhokha. You can use EFT, instant EFT, or credit card. So another useful tip is to have 5,000 Rand available, whether it is on your credit card or whether it is in your check account where you're doing an instant EFT. Also make sure your limits are changed or amended to accommodate the 5,000 Rand fee or transfer or deposit. So you're not battling away. But if you are run out of that 10 minutes, just to note that your unit or your preferred apartment will be placed back onto the marketplace and you will have to do that process again. So as soon as you secure and your deposit is received, that apartment then will be permanently reserved and taken off the property marketplace. You will then receive a pre-populated offer to purchase or agreement of sale, accompanied by an instruction email, which will give you all the next step information, as well as key contact information for our conveyancing attorneys at Tuckers, as well as Nettie, who's our consultant, and Tina, who is our dedicated financial home loan expert from ooba. Also, just a note, from a sales perspective, you will have up to 48 hours to sign and return that agreement. Only once that agreement has been signed and returned to the conveyancing attorneys, we will then have 30 days to secure your bond. Yeah, I think, is there anything I'm missing, Steph? I think
no, I think that's it. I mean, I think obviously the significant part is that in many cases, a developer will request a 10% deposit because that is their requirement from the bank. Where the stronger developers, like a Stoneman, for example, have the ability to bring down the barriers to entry for a buyer. So the 5,000 Rand is very significant because you're not required to pay an additional deposit over and above that. The only reason you may would be if a bank says to you that you can't get finance for the full purchase price, and then you would have to subsidize the shortfall, but it's a huge benefit. There's also no levy stabilization fee, which is normally quite a standard thing within a development. So that's also a big saving upfront. And then yeah, so that is, and then no transfer duty because you are purchasing a property directly from the developer. So what that effectively means, you're saving on the VAT, which means that you are paying 15% less than what you normally would if you're buying from another purchaser, if you're buying a resale at another development or something similar. So yeah, it all stacks up really favorably in terms of all the different elements. And I think just to understand also, I think what Andrew was saying is that don't think that you've done really well to secure your unit and you've paid your 5,000 Rand and you've got your contract of sale emailed to you, because like developers have to be quite tight in the process. So if you then have to deliver by making sure you return that contract of sale and making sure you then go through the process of getting your bond secured within 30 days, because otherwise, naturally, because of the demand, the developer will release it. So just make sure you follow the whole process all the way through to make sure that you have secured and capitalized on the launch.
And I think, Steph, just touching on to that transfer duty, we equated it to a saving of between 70 and up to 100,000 Rand on that transfer duty. So, it's a significant value add that is provided to off-plan residential property purchases. And it's just something to be mindful of. I know there is a question here from Colin, I think. You should definitely be signing up to the marketplace. Our property marketplace is the only place that you will be able to secure an apartment at Annex Bedfordview. My only advice is that even though you are interested in phase 2, know for certain that once we sell out all phase 1 opportunities and eventually do release phase 2, that there will be a price escalation. So our advice is to secure now at launch prices and get the benefit of a guaranteed rental income for the first 12 months from transfer. Yeah.
Okay, I think, yeah, I mean, I think we do, just for sake of time, probably need to start wrapping up. Anything more you want to add from your side?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a journey for us. I think, having played a role in doing the market research up front, working quite closely with the developer on delivering the product, and then having the support of the developer to go the online route. I think, we believe this opportunity is the next step in property purchasing. One of the key things is it allows users who are signed up at the moment to purchase from anywhere in South Africa, anywhere in the globe, to be honest. Simple, easy to use, no mess, no fuss. And I think this opportunity at Annex Bedfordview is, we're following suit with that in terms of the different opportunities. Great investment opportunity, especially with that guaranteed rental income. As I always like to say, it's a no-brainer. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be exciting, and I'm looking forward to Thursday, 1 p.m. on the 26th. We are hoping to get a significant amount of deals done, concluded in a very fast period of time. So for all of those who are interested, make sure you are on top of your game and you have prepped and are ready for 1 p.m.
Exactly that. Yeah, and I think to add, it's super exciting. I think, just so you guys know, we marketers, we're not salesmen. So ultimately, we're going to give you the best possible sort of try and be objective out of it. We see developments all the time around the country, and there's some really, really special ones that just align whether you're an end user investor, and we really put all our energy into those. And this is definitely one of those, and probably as good a investment or buying opportunities you're going to see anywhere in the country for a very long time. So yeah, I think we're all really, really excited, and yeah, really looking forward to Thursday. So I mean, just to recap, launching between effectively 1.2 and 2.5 million, only 2 and 3 bedroom options. Like Andrew said, only 6 3-bed ground floor units, as you can see where Andrew is chilling right now. Only 42 apartments, 12-month rental guarantee built into the first 42. And the WhatsApp chat is, or the WhatsApp number is on the chat function. So please chat to Siobhan. There's a hell of a lot that can be done between now and Thursday, giving you information, giving you insights. There's no time allocation. Siobhan will hate me for saying this, but we all hands on deck until Thursday. And so yeah, feel free to ask any questions, and we'll get back to you as quick as possible. Only 5,000 deposit, no levy stabilization, no transfer duty. Like Andrew said, in terms of that significant saving, you're probably paying between 70 and 110,000 rand, depending on the unit, if you were paying transfer duties. The draft sale agreement on the marketplace. Any other stuff that you need is on there. And then yeah, if you want to go an extra step, try and get pre-qualification with ooba, just so you understand what your affordability is. But yeah, I really, really appreciate everyone being here. We've had a great turnout tonight, and hope we've answered some questions.
And yeah, just a reminder, you can only purchase online, so get ready.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steph. It's been real.
Yeah, thanks, Fed. See you in the morning. But yeah,
have a great evening.
Yeah, have a great evening, everyone. Thanks so much. Cheers.